Hello and welcome to Casual Shenanigans episode 18. I'm one of your hosts, JERMgaming, also known as Jeremiah, and I am joined by my co-hosts, Chris.
Hey guys.
And Dave.
Hey folks, I am Dave, the not-so-evil Viking 13.
And we have a fairly light podcast for you tonight, as you can tell by the fact that there are only 3 of us, but that's okay because we like us anyway and everything's nice. So we are going to open up the show with Battlefield news because Dave has some Battlefield news for us. So Dave, are you ready or do you need me to vamp for a little bit and go on to the other news?
I was actually just typing out my notes here for later, but you know what?
Jeremiah? No,
here we go.
I'll read an item.
No, it's happening.
No. I'll read an item or
right
two.
Now.
You can wait.
All
so,
right.
I'll read one and then you can go. Okay. Ubisoft have announced that Watch Dogs, the game in which absolutely everything is connected to the internet and even street lamps are hackable, that game will not require an internet connection to play.
I like the irony there. That's pretty fantastic.
Beautiful.
It made sense for Assassin's Creed 2, Ubisoft said, but we don't see why the hyper-connected world of Watch Dogs should require gamers to be connected to the internet. Regardless, we're just happy they're trying to make a good game and not trying to force DRM down our throats. So, all right. And one more. Respawn Entertainment have hinted that Titanfall may support the Oculus Rift VR headset.
Ooh,
Nothing
nice.
is confirmed, but the team has announced they are playing with some dev units, with the additional news that everyone in a multiplayer match will be able to control a mech. Titanfall may be the best Transformers game we've ever had. All right. Battlefield news?
Actually, if you got more news, keep rolling on that. I'm enjoying this.
All right, fine.
I'm hooked now. You can't just stop in the middle.
And actually, I don't think I can because our live screen is just black on my computer. Can anyone else see it?
I haven't hit the link yet. I'm getting ready to post it.
All right. Yeah, if you can't see the link, let us know if it's not working because it doesn't appear to be working, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, more news. There's another DayZ mod out called DayZ Arma 3, very creatively named. It's literally just what it sounds like. DayZ ported into Arma 3. We don't know much else
DayZ
about it.
Zombies?
Well, the website is Zombies, but the mod is DayZ Arma 3. So we don't know much else about it, but I am planning on testing it out very soon, like this evening, very soon, because it looks pretty awesome.
I got bad news for you, actually, about that.
What?
Arma patch came out today and broke it, so they're working on a patch for tomorrow.
I hate everything.
As
Way to
do I.
go, Arma.
Well, the link is definitely working now, at least. Okay, well, I hate everything. Battlefield 4 news. I have one more piece of news, but that has to wait till after your Battlefield 4 news.
Okay. Yeah, today EA actually released the Battlelog 2.0 trailer, which is kind of funny. I was telling Joel, it's weird to actually kind of be excited about Battlelog 2.0 because at this time, around July in 2011, there was some serious like nerd rage about Battlelog. Like Origin was only 2 months old at the time, and everyone was like, get to buy Origin to get Battlefield 3, and you have to have a web browser to connect, and it didn't sound great on paper, but
yes, because
in general,
having a web browser to connect to an online game is just super inconvenient. Anyway.
I for one have enjoyed being able to like favorite servers and use the third-party plugins like the Better Battlelog and all to see more stats and deeper stuff like that. Like it has some neat features, but I kind of wanted to see what EA was going to have for round 2. It's been 2 years now. What is the new Battlelog going to have? And the answer to that question apparently is lots of gimmicky device features. You'll be able to do things like change your loadout on the bus on your iPad like a nerd. And
because when you're racing home and your friends are like, quick, we need you.
As long as
Optimize
you
your
can do
layout
it between
now.
matches, I don't care where else you can do it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, how often do you really need to optimize your loadout? Just pick the M16A3 and just red dot and just go to town.
The truth hurts. You can also see what matches your friends are playing and enjoying without you as you ride home on the bus. And you can also
that much.
And Chris, you mentioned changing your loadout. It's a very exciting feature. You can now change your loadout on your iPhone instead of in-game because that's more convenient. Yeah.
Yeah, none of that sounds interesting. I'm
That's
sorry.
game-changing. Wow.
I'm going to assume that you'll also have the ability to change your loadout after you've died, like on the kill cam in-game, and that they just wanted to announce the iPhone feature as like a, hey, look, bonus gimmicky thing. But out of all of the new Battlelog stuff, there is one exciting thing that I was really pumped to see. World in Conflict actually had this a few years ago, and that's the ability to render out the mini-map on a third-party device/screen. You can actually get into the game, connect your iPad, and have the mini-map, instead of like being down in like tiny little corner of your screen, have it on your full 10-inch iPad.
Cheap much.
I know, it's going to be a huge advantage, because if you use the mini-map, like once you learn how to do that in a Battlefield game, that changes how you play. And
I think any competitive shooter, like having a mini-map is... There's people who play with the mini-map and there's people who don't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When Yaku and I first like really started forcing ourselves to use the minimap, you find people hiding now all the time, and especially in Battlefield 3, where you're automatically marked on the map when you fire your unsuppressed weapon for I think it's like 3 seconds. Like, it's so easy to find people. We've gotten called out as hackers before, like, nice wall hacks. Like, I was in the corner, there's no way you could see me. Like, minimap.
Oh, I don't understand. Like, there are really people who play and don't look at the map that tells you where the other people are. Like,
Joel is one of them.
How do you play the game and not pay attention to that? It is cheating if you think about it, because in the real world, there's nothing that tells you where everyone else is if they happen to make a sound.
It's making up for some of the situational awareness that we lose.
Yeah, situational awareness, which is worth something, but still, it's like, why would you not use that? That's like saying, I'm going to take my my field of view and I'm just going to narrow it all the way down. I like looking through a crack in a door. That's how I play games.
But yeah, so that's the new Battlelog trailer. Nothing groundbreaking. I guess, like I said, World in Conflict had done that a few years ago. The main difference being that in World in Conflict, it was actually on your PC screen. It was rendering the in-game map like from a top-down satellite view. So you could actually see like all the explosions and stuff happening in real time, and that was pretty cool. Whereas for Battlefield 4, it will just be basically the map screen with the little icons on it. Still neat though. Like, that's going to be a game changer for, well, really anything, any kind of like serious play where you're not just messing around like Joel does.
Right.
So this is my question, as this is the first time that I've heard of it. Has any other company ever made an actual trailer for a server browser?
I don't think
that's a good question.
Is this a thing?
That does show a lot
I haven't seen it. Is it a video?
It's an actual trailer, and the funny thing is, DICE's like top premium production for their trailers.
Dubstep pans across a web page.
It's got the dubstep and the dubsteppy Battlefield theme at the end.
Does it show you how the error messages look now? Do they look cool?
That would be great. Parody video.
Oh, that needs to happen.
That's what I spend most of my time looking at in Battlelog, but... Okay.
Ooh.
So the next bit of news, 2 bits of news, and we are debuting a new section on the podcast called Jeremiah Rants. All right. So.
Also the same as every other podcast.
Oh, there it is.
I will. You're not wrong. So here's the deal. Rocket posted something recently saying, what did he say? Showing something in Kerbal Space Programming, saying like, I love something in Kerbal Space Programming.
He's actually an avatar in the game now. They actually made an avatar for him.
So what exactly did he say?
Awesome.
What exactly did he say?
It was a screen cap, I guess, from the latest build of the game where it showed the astronaut named Dean and it like had his haircut. He's like, I love this game or something like that.
Oh yeah, okay. And then the tweets coming back at him were like, you know what I'd love? The DayZ standalone to come out. You know what I'd like? I'd like you to be working on the DayZ standalone. Okay, just for anyone who doesn't understand who Rocket is. Dean Rocket Hall is a guy who loved Arma so much that he spent, I'm assuming, most of his free time making free community maps and missions for it. Free, things you don't have to pay for, that he distributed for free, and they're pretty high quality. We've played a couple of them.
While being in the army.
While being in the army, and he gave them away for free, and then he had an idea for a new type of game, an open world zombie survival game that he put way more time into because he loved gaming so much, and then he gave it away for free because he loved it so much and he was so proud of it. And then like half the world of PC gaming just hopped on his back and was like, oh my goodness, DayZ is the most amazing thing ever. We love it. Dean Hall, you are up there with gaming. You can do no wrong. You're the greatest video game developer ever. And everyone's just brown-nosing him all the way. And he had a really awesome concept, so let's be fair. I mean, it was a really awesome idea. And most of the original thing the zombie genre has seen in a long time. So he loved it so much. He was like, all right, you know what? I love this so much. Bohemia was like, hey, we'll let you develop that into a game because you love it so much. It's gotten so much critical reception. Like, people seem to like it so much. We think this is worthy of joining our stable of games. He was like, okay, I'll start working on it. So now he started working on it, and he's tried to be pretty open about the process. And then people are just crapping on him because it didn't come out when they wanted it to. Now, full disclosure, I am disappointed the standalone isn't out yet. A lot of people are disappointed the standalone isn't out yet. Dean is disappointed that the standalone isn't out yet. I'm sure
Dave is disappointed too.
He would have loved for it to be out by now. Everyone wants it to be out. It's not a question of wanting it to be out. It's a question of when it is ready to come out, and it's not ready to come out. You don't want an unpolished turd of a video game dumped into your lap. The game,
especially an unpolished alpha. That's even worse.
And here's the most important thing. He owes you nothing. Nothing. Literally nothing. You have paid no money. You have not paid Dean any money. Maybe you paid some money to Bohemia so you could play the DayZ mod, but Dean has not been paid any money from you for DayZ. He owes you nothing. He could announce tomorrow, hey guys, I'm sorry, you're all a bunch of dicks and I don't want to do this anymore. And he would have the right to do it. He owes you nothing. Grow up. Now, the only reason that the comments are only that bad most of the time is because most of the people who play DayZ are adults or 15, 16-year-olds is probably the youngest. I don't know of any 12-year-olds playing DayZ. It's a pretty steep...
I found them.
Really? Okay, well, there aren't very many of them. It's a pretty steep barrier for entry. No, that's probably... They could be 15 or 16. You never know. But
quite possibly.
But it's a steep barrier for entry. So... those comments, they're pretty bad, and they show a lack of understanding, and they're idiots. But if you wanted to get really bad, buckle up. So earlier this week, pretty much every game releases patches to balance things out, because especially multiplayer shooters. You have to balance things out. Some stuff's too powerful, some stuff's not quite enough powerful, not powerful enough. Some people figure out like hacks or shortcuts they can take, and so companies release stuff like that all the time to balance it out. It's totally normal. Well, not Infinity Ward, Treyarch released a patch to rebalance three of the guns in Black Ops 2. Minor rebalances. And the game's creative director is getting death threats. Death threats. Now, little 12-year-olds, I'm sorry that your parents decided to keep you, but now that you're here, you have to play by some of the same rules. You can't act like that on the internet and then be nice in the real world. The internet is the real world. There is somebody on the other side of your terrible rage, and I'm sorry you have nothing better to do than sit around and lament your virginity, but you don't take it out on other people like that. You don't give someone a death threat because they made a slight balancing adjustment to a video game. It is a game. It's not someone's life. I don't care if you've killed 18,000 people in it. It's a game. You are not a badass. Stop. Please stop. If I developed games and people were sending me death threats because I rebalanced some weapons, I would do everything I could to figure out their gamer tags and ban them. Like lifetime ban, no questions asked.
I just heard the weapon's like a bubble gun or something. Like it just blows bubbles.
Despicable behavior. Yeah, you know what? He should remove those weapons and replace them with like dart guns or something. Like that is the worst type of behavior. The developer put out a game. You don't complain about stuff like that when they're trying to fix the game. Legitimate things, when you've bought a game, legitimate things to complain about are like when SimCity launched and the game didn't work. When you've already paid $60 for a game and it flat out like absolutely does not work, like the first month of Battlefield for a lot of people, that is legitimate to complain about. To complain about, if you want to complain, or contact customer service, or try to get a refund or whatever. But you don't send death threats, even if they revoke, like shut the game servers down tomorrow. You don't threaten someone's life over that.
The games are serious business.
Black Ops 2 has been out for like almost 10 months. They're allowed to make changes to it. You aren't owed the exact same experience you got when you bought it. They release patches. Stuff changes. Get over it. They haven't broken the game. They've made slight changes. My goodness, I hate all of you.
I love how the responses they got on Twitter, too, didn't seem to be like, I reviewed your change list. I don't feel like this is the right direction that you're taking it in. It's like, you changed something? I'm not going to research this at all. Like, I'm not going to try it out. Rage! Just instant rage. Like, no kind of discussion or anything. Just rage and death threats.
It's despicable. Absolutely despicable.
And I think part of the problem is it is July, it is summertime, all of the munchkins are out of school and having unlimited access to their parents' Wi-Fi networks, and they are hitting the internet hard with the whining. On the note of DayZ standalone, I do have a little bit of games industry experience. I've done a couple of projects, and my biggest one I was the lead artist on, and it was essentially just the artwork that I was responsible for. It was a tech demo, and so there was like almost no programming to do at all. Like just a little bit of scripting on my hand, like a little bit of sound effects, but mostly just art. And still, even then, I missed my worst case deadline by like 35%. Just because creating games is such an incredibly complex and multi-layered process. At any turn, there could be 100, 1,000 things that go wrong.
Yeah, stuff just breaks sometimes.
Yeah, and sometimes it makes no sense. Like, hey, I changed the zeroing on this iron sight on this rifle, and now the zombies are flying through the sky. Like, the complexity of modern games is staggering, and people need to remember that. Yes, we all want DayZ standalone. Yes, it's taking a long time. It feels like, but step back and look at it. DayZ standalone was announced, I think, like August 4th of last year. It is still July, okay? It has not even been a year, and they are creating an open world zombie simulation game that is multiplayer.
Literally one of the most ambitious open world games that's ever been done. Most open world games don't try to do all the stuff DayZ's going to do. Chances are most of it won't work right when they first release it, but they're trying to do stuff on a smaller team with a smaller budget that most people wouldn't even touch.
And that's the thing, too, is that this is such a risky project that this is why we haven't seen it yet. It's because no publisher would touch this with a 10-foot pole. The budget they would have to give this thing, the time, it would be terrifying. Like, we should be so happy that there's even a publisher that's letting this thing happen, not be like, why hasn't it come out as fast as the latest Facebook game?
And if you're not happy about it, and if you think Rockets dropped the ball, and if you think it's dumb, it should have been out already. They've screwed up the PR. Like, there are some legitimate complaints in there, and then there's some illegitimate ones, but regardless of what you think, if you think it's the absolute worst thing in the world, you know what you do? You don't buy it. That is the limit of your input on this issue.
And that's actually straight from...
buy it.
That is straight from Rocket's mouth, too. He said that I understand that some of you guys aren't happy with what you're seeing, and I'm okay with that. We want to keep improving. But if you don't like what you see, don't buy the alpha. He's like, please don't. Like, you will be disappointed. Like, if you're disappointed watching the videos, don't then buy it and play it to be disappointed again. Like, what you see is what you get. Don't expect more than that.
As
I think
always,
Chris is just laughing at us over there.
As always, you can
I'm
ask.
in complete agreement, but yeah.
Do you have anything to weigh in on this?
No, not really.
Oh, come on, I want to hear Chris
You guys
yell.
are pretty much ranted about everything. I'm curious, like...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
So that's certainly that side of the argument. What's the favorite thing that you've used in a game that has been changed, that you haven't been so upset as to send death threats over?
Like, that I have been upset about?
Something that you used, like it was crucial to your game, and they changed it, and you had to find something new.
I got one.
Okay.
Gunner flares on the chopper in Battlefield 3. I was unhappy about that at first. Really unhappy.
Did you come around, or...
Sorry?
Did you come around to that, or still disagree with it?
It took a long time. I think it did make the game better for newer players. I felt like it took away from some of the skill of like a good pilot gunner team, but at the same time, I can admit that it improved everyone else's experience.
Also, when
that's kind of what DICE is shooting for.
Yeah,
that's the same time they made the Iglas lock on way quicker, so that it was like a 1-2 punch of gunners don't get flares, and it's much easier to lock onto people, which, Dave and I were very used to hopping into a chopper together and just tearing up the battlefield for like 15 minutes.
It was great.
And as a result of that, we really had to rebalance our strategy. And I'd say most of the time we could still do that, as long as you're flying and I'm not.
We had to change our strategy. Like, whereas before, when you got a lock tone, you were just like, oh, I'm getting locked, let me just ECM and I'll let you take the next flare. Like, and you just kept attacking. Now it's like, okay, we're getting locked. We have like a few seconds to keep attacking, and then we have to run away for a minute. Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's more realistic that way,
it wasn't
too.
a big deal. I was a little ticked off for like the first hour. But it was just like, oh man, like I'm so used to doing it this way. That sucks. But within like a day, I didn't care. I mean, and I wasn't actually upset. I was just a little, oh, I wish they hadn't changed that. But then I used it and I was like, yeah, this isn't that bad.
Right.
Which that's the mature way to handle something. It's okay to not like a change somebody makes. You are perfectly within your rights to not like a change, but that doesn't mean you have a say in it. That means you can either keep playing it and accept it, or you can move on to something else. And the developer probably won't mind.
With the gunner flares thing, like I actually remember talking about it in a commentary. Like I was really unhappy about it, so I discussed why I didn't like the change and what it was going to break and how I didn't think it was going to improve the game. And I discussed it. I didn't send death threats on Twitter or show up outside of your house with a knife saying, I will hurt you the way you've hurt me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andrew Jordan asks on YouTube in the comments, hey there, Evil Viking. I just sent you a thing on Twitter.
Hey
what's the
guys.
deal with DayZ? Will you and the rest of the crew not be doing any more, or are you waiting for standalone?
Okay, so here's the official word on our DayZ series. Officially, our main DayZ, like Survivor Diary style series, will not start until we both play standalone and also confirm that it's not so buggy that we can't actually make a series out of it. Like, if our loot is going away and there's only like 2 guns in the game and zombies are flying, then we're not going to make a series out of that because that won't be any fun. So we kind of like the more cinematic, like, persistent story series kind of thing. We are currently playing a bit of DayZ Overwatch and a bit of other stuff. So expect some like small episodes, like, not really sequential most of the time, just little bits here and there. There will be DayZ coming, just not a main series yet. There is more coming eventually, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm actually playing more than I have in a while. I'm starting to enjoy it again a little bit. Now there are a bunch of these mods coming out, not trying to really change up the DayZ formula, but trying just to optimize and incrementally improve upon the original DayZ. I've been enjoying that somewhat. And as soon as they fix the Play DayZ and Arma 3 thing, I plan on trying that out because the new physics engine and everything and the lighting, that could be really awesome. I could really enjoy that. But yeah, for now we're not on hiatus. We're just we're playing it when the mood strikes, but we're not like recording an actual series because that requires a bit more planning. While it looks like Breaking Bad was pretty much no planning, there was some planning that went into it.
There was some progressive elements to it, at least.
Dave every evening scripting it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All scripts, guys.
It's all in the
scripts.
editor. All in the editor.
Yeah, all cinematics, the whole thing.
No, if we were scripting it, we would look better
and die a lot less.
Yes, we would be better represented if we were scripting it. Yeah.
Every bad guy you see is Joel.
Yeah. Okay, so actually, Andrew, his name online is UberDude. So, like UberDude, you can always be a part of the show by writing into casualshenanigans@gmail.com or tweeting at casualshenaniga or at any of our Twitters. And if we see your questions, we will happily read them aloud on the show if we feel like it.
That is a dumb-sounding plural, our Twitters.
Yeah.
Contact us at our Twitters.
I guess that's the right plural of it. I don't honestly
I mean,
know.
I assume. It just sounds stupid.
It sounds very stupid. You're right. The topic of the week this week is what games have impressed you at the beginning, like when you first started playing them, like really impressed you, and then really disappointed you as you kept playing them. Like what games have taken you to a high of anticipation and then just dropped you off the cliff later. And I'll go ahead and open up because one did this to me recently. Rage.
Tell us if you're hurt, Jeremiah. Tell us if you're hurt.
I bought Rage on a Steam sale like a year ago, and I hadn't really done anything with it because I knew it was pretty buggy, but I went to install it, and the opening cinematic is beautiful. The music is perfect. Like, the setup is perfect. They don't tell you too much, but they tell you just enough that you're interested in what's going on in this world. Like, the music's there, the voiceover's there, it's not too long. Like, it sucks you right in from the very beginning. And then the game freezes every 5 seconds once you get in and start playing it, and it's pretty much exactly like Borderlands without the humor and the co-op and all the gun whoring. But other than that, it's like Borderlands without all the stuff that makes Borderlands unique and really fun. And I'm getting really bored really, really quick. Oh, and it's linear. It's disguised as an open world game, but it's it's pretty linear. It's made by the guys who made Doom. They make linear shooters. That's their thing. I mean, the guns are punchy and everything, but I see maybe another 2 or 3 hours in this, and if it doesn't get a lot better, I think I'm done. But like the ending was so good. It was like the beginning of Mass Effect 2, which is one of my favorite beginnings of any game ever. And Dave, of course, hasn't played this. But Chris, yes, Chris, I mean, you and I played Mass Effect 2 at like the same time.
Completely engrossing.
Yes, and when we all right, here's the deal. We were in college. We both had played Mass Effect.
That's the latest I've ever stayed up playing a video game.
Yep. We both played Mass Effect 1 and really enjoyed it. So when Mass Effect 2 came out, like, we were ready. We knew what was up. So we both get it. And then after like a day of going back and forth on like trying to get work done and playing it, we pretty much both said, all right, look, we're not really going to get anything done till we're done with this. So guilt-free, let's just do it. And we pretty much just did. But the opening of Mass Effect 2 is awesome. It is an awesome intro. It sucks you right in, even if you've never played the first game. Even if you've never played the first game, I have a copy I can give you on Origin, but I think you already own it. It's awesome, and the rest of the game lives up to it. The rest of the game is really awesome. So that's like a good example. But do you guys have any examples of games that just hurt you?
I wouldn't say hurt me, but like Modern Warfare 2.
Oh man!
Coming off of Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Well, yeah. Tell them about like
so excited.
Tell them about you and I playing Modern Warfare.
Well, I think we're like everyone else in the world in that who was in college about that time. It's Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare was a breath of fresh air, and we didn't stop playing it for a long time. Yeah, a good part of a year. Before
I sold my the PS3 that I had when we were playing it, I decided to pop the game in and look at my in-game counter. It was a couple hundred hours. So,
what was that again?
A couple hundred. Just a few hundred.
Just a few.
And like we played through the campaign on every difficulty. We beat it on the hardest difficulty. We loved that game. We would of course, this is our first year, so we didn't have as much homework to do.
We beat it. Let's play it again. That story was great.
Exactly. And we'd and then when the trailer started coming out for Modern Warfare 2, we were like, oh yeah, this looks amazing. They're invading America. It's the Russians? It's the Russians. It looks
it's
so
that
amazing.
non-American enemy.
When the Eminem trailer came out like 2 weeks before it released, I thought that was kind of a dumb choice of a song to go with it. But even then I was like, yeah, I'm pumped. We got all our homework done ahead of time. Like we were ahead on schoolwork. I pre-ordered it from GameStop, and I don't normally pre-order games. I never do anymore because I'm a PC gamer. But at the time, I rarely pre-ordered games. I was like, I need this thing when it comes out. And our plan was to come back. As soon as we got back to the dorm, it was all Modern Warfare 2. Rest of the evening, like we were beating this thing. And then like 2 hours in, I was like, I feel like I'm supposed to be enjoying this more than
I feel empty inside.
After like the second backstab betrayal, spoilers, and
no spoilers.
No, everything was so big. It was just like bigger, and the first game wasn't like that.
Nope.
The first game had contrast. It had a really smart story, and the second game was just like...
You gotta have quiet moments.
Exactly. It was just like, crazy! So crazy! Everything's crazy! Crazy! Everyone dies!
You thought that was nuts? Look at this!
Have you played Modern Warfare 3?
I've played half of the second one's campaign, and so I definitely get what you're saying there.
Well, Modern Warfare 3 was even worse. There's a scene near the beginning, a sequence where New York City is being attacked. I forget by who. Some country that would never actually be able to hit us that badly. But they're
I saw
attacking
a few videos, yeah.
Like aircraft carriers are sinking in the bay, in the Hudson, and like we're flying around this boat, like blowing other boats up with a machine gun and like jumping over aircraft carrier pieces, and like there are jumps made out of sinking ships, and I don't know how you go off a jump in a boat. Anyway, I don't know
with
if you know
your
how
fingers
motors
crossed.
work, but when you drag propellers across things, it breaks them. But anyway, that was like a 10-minute sequence.
The one guy in the back whose job is to lift up the prop.
We are pretty special operators in that game. You're the elitist of the blackest opsist of the specialists. And it was
getting more invisible every time.
I think the only real cool parts of Modern Warfare 2 were the attack on the prison, and that was pretty much straight out of The Rock. Most sections of that
was pretty good.
But that was really awesome. And like when you met up with Price and gave him his gun back, that was like oh yeah. And the very end was pretty good. And you know, there were some good parts in it, but not as good. And Modern Warfare 3 was more of the same. Yeah. Dave?
I think for me, it would actually be the entirety of the Assassin's Creed series. I got that game on sale in college. I remember I was working on some math homework, and I'm like, if I keep doing this homework, I'm gonna like go walk in traffic or something. So I'm like, I gotta do something to relax. Like I just got Assassin's Creed. I heard it's really good. I'll try it out for the first time. I dove in, played like 5 hours in a row, 5 more the next day, then 3, then 2, and then I realized that yeah, the fighting mechanics were great and the world looked good, and I was getting into the storyline a little bit, but gameplay-wise, like below the surface, it was the same thing over and over again. It was like playing a Facebook game where you unlock like new levels each time.
Yep.
And then you repeat the same actions.
Once you learn how to parry, the gameplay's kind of over.
And I think I got like a third of the way through and then just stopped. And I tried the second one too, and it was the same thing. Like it was a bit more, a bit deeper, a little bit more. Mm-hmm. But once I got the hang of it, and it just felt like the same thing over and over again.
That's
I think one of the most interesting things about Assassin's Creed 2, or as well, but that as the series goes on, it like breaks the mechanic a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. Like the combat was just never deep enough. That the more stuff they tried adding in, like it made it a little bit deeper in some ways, but it started to even show its flaws more and more, and that there's not that much there, and like it just made it more and more evident.
That's a good way of putting it, yeah.
Chris, have you seen like the 11-minute gameplay trailer for Black Flag?
It's pirates, so I'm interested.
Yeah, exactly. That's when I saw that, I was like, okay.
If it's kind of open world, me and my ship, and I can like...
And it looks like it. And if that's the case, I don't even care about the assassination stuff. Like, I'm just going to be a pirate.
I told Joel
this is just pirate games.
This is just Ubisoft Pirates, but it looks pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, like, why? You think about why don't we have more pirate games? Like, everything's there. Is it because we can't do water mechanics well enough? I mean, it could be something simple like that. Like, it's just not that easy to do that type of thing. But so far, that game looks pretty cool. But it doesn't look cool for anything that's related to the Assassin's Creed franchise. It looks cool because of all the pirate stuff.
Because pirates.
It's all stuff you've done before. And they can introduce a new weapon or do anything, but it's still not changing anything. You're still going to be sneaking up behind a guy and shoving something into his neck.
Yeah, pretty much. Which is, kind of the same as Splinter Cell. Splinter Cell had started to get kind of like that. Like, I've played every single Splinter Cell, everything. I love the Splinter Cell franchise. And they were really starting to get kind of stale around Double Agent. They were just like, there are only so many dark hallways and stuff that you can sneak through. So in Conviction, they kind of threw the formula out, and it was pretty much Jason Bourne the game at that point. Like it was technically a Splinter Cell game. It existed in the same universe, but it was really much more combat oriented. And they totally changed how all the combat and everything works. And like, it felt like a totally different game, and I loved it. And it looks like, what's the new one called? Blacklist. It looks like Blacklist is going to be like further iterating on that. It looks like it's going to be like you can play it just like the old Splinter Cells or just like the new ones, and they've sufficiently changed it. And maybe this is what Assassin's Creed needs. Like maybe the Assassin's Creed world is just something for cool ideas to exist in.
Yeah.
Like maybe they'll just keep, I don't know what's next after Pirates, but maybe after Pirates they can come up with something,
more
new
pirates,
and daring. What?
I said more pirates, please.
More pirates, yeah.
just keep those coming. Just bring them on.
Yeah. So, another game, and Oblivion. I loved the intro to Oblivion. The intro
you
to Oblivion.
You can say that about pretty much any Bethesda Elder Scrolls game. Like Endgame is just not there. Intro and wandering is all they do.
Although I did think
they do it so well.
The Skyrim intro I didn't think was nearly as good because of the long cart ride. Like it took too long to get off the ground. Whereas the Oblivion intro I thought felt pretty epic from the very beginning. And Oblivion is a pretty awesome game, and I certainly played way too much of that in college. Actually, Chris and I, for a time, had a little bit of tension between us because only one person could play Oblivion at a time, and there was always like this slight passive-aggressive undertone of, "Hey, what are you doing later? Are you gonna be doing anything? Playing anything?"
Just imagine the two of you like circling the computer in the center of the room, like.
That was on the PS3, so.
Oh, whoa.
hey, I didn't have a gaming computer until I had one way back in the day, but then I didn't have one again until 2008. Fall of
That's
2008.
college.
I had to build one.
That's what happens in college sometimes.
And actually, it was my parents. They gave me like a budget when I graduated high school. Like, here, buy yourself a present with this, and that's when I got the PS3. It wasn't like a huge budget, but I bought the PS3 with the money from that. And I was thinking about it, like I should have gotten a PC with that money, because all I had was like some busted old Gateway laptop. But me and Chris were rocking our Gateway and Dell laptops, and we were pretty hot stuff.
I think I built that spring, and then you built the summer or fall.
You built the spring, and then I saved money all summer to do a build by the fall.
Nice.
And it was worth it.
Life-changing.
Yeah, I could definitely say, definitely life-changing.
I was looking through pictures the other day and saw the picture that you took with your 5 monitors set up.
I thought it was only 4.
Into our room.
I thought it was only 4.
No, you had 5 at one
I
point.
had 5. That's just excessive.
Where you draw the line, Jeremiah? Well,
there were some spare monitors, and I was like, you know what? I could hook up more, because I had a second graphics card in my computer. I had like a Radeon 4890. So I got like a 46 something, like a $20 card on eBay that just used the same drivers. And so I was running like, I guess 3 cards off one, 2 cards off the other. But
I thought it was 5. It may have been 4, but I think it was 5.
I don't know. It was too many. I mean, it got to the point where like I couldn't. 3 is pretty good. 2 is good. 3 is great. 4 or 5, I don't know what to do with the other one. Like,
I know, right?
My head has to do this too much. I can't, like, it's too much to keep track of. And it also made me feel weird, because all my peripheral vision was filled up by screens, and like my eyes were starting to feel weird, and my head, and it wasn't good.
It's kind of overwhelming visually.
Like
I've put on Yakko's triple screen setup for Battlefield 3, and that's a bit much sometimes.
Yeah.
He lives a hard life, you know.
Yeah. Life's really hard.
Gotta deal with those 3 screens.
Crying all the way to the bank.
Or away from the bank, I guess.
That was the topic for tonight. Send in if there's games that have really impressed you guys and then really disappointed you. Send them in. If I own any of them, I'll try to play them, because I'd like to feel your pain. As I'm playing through everything in my Steam library, so I'm going to play through it eventually. So send them to me. If it's something I've got, I'll bump it up in the list. Okay, so now we are going to go to a live report from Joel. Joel couldn't be with us tonight, but he is out in the field, yeah, doing some field reporting for us, so we're going to cut to him now.
I don't know if you guys can hear me in here. It's really loud. Right now we're flying above Cherno. Right now I've got the controls. We're just kind of taking a nice slow, just kind of tour over Cherno right now. I thought I'd just do a little bit of reporting above Janaris, to give you guys a kind of a whole just view. I can see where Rocket is designing new towns and stuff. It's pretty amazing. You probably can hear in the background some sniper fire. That's coming definitely from snipers up in the woods and in the towers trying to pick off people. But this is just absolutely a beautiful looking country. Like, oh my gosh, you can see deer off of this. He's adding deer. Oh, and rabbits. Oh, this is going to be awesome. And they actually look good. They don't run and open through doors. This is going to be pretty incredible, guys. I'm sorry I wasn't able to make it a podcast, but... Hey, hold on one second. Oh my gosh. Oh, we got a problem here. There's some sort of thing with the rotor. I think that... Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. Sniper fire. Oh my gosh. Hold it together, everyone. Hold it together. Oh my gosh. We're going down. Oh my gosh. Dude, you can have my Steam games. Look. It's Skinner. You can't have crap. I'm not giving you crap. James, you can have my Mac collection. I've got so many of them. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Tell my mother I love her.
Okay, so that was Joel. May he rest in peace. And does anyone have any parting shots before we go tonight?
Parting shots.
Or topics of interest or things you want to complain about.
I want to get positive for a minute here. Have you guys seen the Mosin Nagant render from DayZ Standalone that was released a few days ago?
It looks really nice.
Oh, it's beautiful. So yeah, if you guys have not seen that, to those of you listening, Google Daisy standalone Mosin Nagant. It is a beautiful model and texture, and that's going to be a fun rifle. It's the new dinner bell, I guess.
How do you spell that?
MOSIN dash.
Oh yeah, never mind.
Dash NAGANT. Mosin dash Nagant.
Kmart 67620 asks, will you guys consider playing Hearts of Iron 3 by any chance? I don't know what Hearts of Iron 3 is, but I will go look it up right now. I'm not opposed to playing pretty much anything.
Whoa, that's a tactical looking map. Holy cow.
What is it?
It looks to be a pure strategy game. Oh, yeah, I've heard of this. PC Gamer loves this.
Huh.
Well, parts of PC Gamer love this. The parts that don't emerge from the dark for long months at a time as they campaign in Europe.
I would try oh, is it made by Paradox? Did I see that?
It is.
Okay.
I would every other game of this type.
I'll try a demo if there's a demo out there. I'm always up for trying new cool things, but as of right now, I don't have any plans to play it. But, you never know. It could change. Chivalry kind of wasn't something I was planning on playing, but then I played it for 10 minutes. So I was like, all right, well, this is my new go-to screwing around game. And actually, Chivalry, it's deeper than I thought it was at the beginning. Like, when we were first playing, we were all just, like, running around hacking. And I got really lucky. My first match, I went on, like, an 8-kill streak as soon as I hopped into the game. And it was total luck. I'm not good at the game at all. But because I got lucky then... Yeah, all the people who bought it in the Steam sale, I was just slightly better than some of them, even though I had just gotten it because of the Steam sale. But it's actually, there's a lot of depth to it with like blocking and hopping back and stabbing and backslashing. And like I'm actually looking forward to getting better at it because it's a little bit of a dance like actual swordplay. Not at all like actual swordplay, but in a sense, like there's some balance and timing stuff to it that you don't really get in a shooter, so that's pretty interesting.
Your vast medieval warfare experience.
When I was time traveling back to the Middle Ages.
And boy, are we bad at it. It's not pretty. It's not pretty. We are so terrible.
That's why you only ever see us from here up.
That sounds weird. I don't know, Chris. I don't know if I'm on board with whatever it is you're talking about.
It's like we could be missing legs or something.
Oh, okay. It's like, I'm a centaur.
Exactly. I was waiting for it.
Wait, the centaur or the flesh wound?
The flesh wound.
Oh, okay.
That's right. That happened.
Anyway. Oh, yeah. We were going to have a special guest tonight, but then their computer messed up last minute. So they're not on. That's why the podcast is a little bit shorter. We are working on getting more special guests onto the podcast, other YouTubers and stuff. It's just a little bit of a process because we're a bit of a smaller podcast still. And so a lot of people want nothing to do with us. I'm sure they don't mean it that way, but in a literal sense, and I totally understand, we aren't big enough to be on a lot of people's radar. So keep sharing this with your friends. Let's get bigger and let's rub it in everyone's faces. No.
Hey guys, share, like, favorite. Really helps us out.
Yeah, it does. It does. Buy my book. But yeah, we're working on getting lots of guests onto the podcast. If you know somebody who plays lots of PC games, plays the stuff we like, and they have a YouTube channel, and like they actually can talk and string sentences together and stuff like that, send them our way. Like we're just looking to meet more people. We're not really the best at that all the time. We like our bubble where everyone gets along. We do actually get along. I know it doesn't seem like that, but we're looking to branch out a little bit, bring more people onto the podcast. So anyway, make suggestions. We like meeting new people. Well, I mean, we like meeting cool people.
Wow, that was judgmental right there.
Daskro was cool. We had him on the podcast.
We should have Daskro back and just have it turn into a gigantic gun podcast where it's just you, me, and Daskro, Jeremiah.
That sounds pretty good. I could do that. I could definitely do that. Actually, we need to have him back on when we talk, like when Battlefield 4 news starts heating up, like when maybe the beta comes out. We need to talk to him then. Cause
he played, actually.
I know, I saw that he played it.
Yeah.
But I want to wait till we've played it.
We just have him on, have us just bask in like the glow of his stories, like actually playing the game, like enthrall us with what it's like.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Let me just pimp out all our stuff real quick. You can follow me on Twitter, JERMgaming, YouTube, JERMgaming. You can follow Evil Viking on Twitter, Evil Viking 13 on YouTube, and of course you can email us at casualshenanigans@gmail.com, tweet at casualshenaniga. And I think I got through all of that correctly tonight, although I am stumbling over some of my words because I'm thirsty and I drank all of my water. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. You guys have been great. We'll see you again next week. And
that's terrifying.
Yeah, I'll be waiting for you.
Waiting and watching always.
Have a good week, everybody.
See you guys.